Stuck is a scary story about a young couple who ran out of gas in their car at night in a remote area. The girl and her boyfriend were driving down a remote country road. As they drove, the night seemed to get darker and darker. Eventually they got lost and ended up in a wooded area that was unfamiliar to them. Suddenly the car started to jerk and stopped. The guy looked at the gauge and realized they were out of gas. No matter how many times he turned the ignition key, the engine just refused to start. The girl started to panic because it was already midnight and they were stuck in the middle of nowhere and couldn't get home. The guy got out of the car and looked around. They were in a secluded wooded area. All he could see were trees. There seemed to be no houses around, for miles around. They were all alone. The girl was scared and asked the guy to do something. He told her that he would have to walk back to the main highway and find help. The guy saw how scared his fiancée was and told her not to worry. He would get back as fast as he could. But the girl saw the concern in his face. Kissing her goodbye, he told her to raise the windows and lock the doors. Then he headed back to the road. The girl watched her boyfriend walk farther and farther away and finally disappeared into the darkness. Hours passed and the girl sat shivering in the car, fearing every shadow she saw and every noise she heard. She was beginning to feel like her boyfriend was never coming back. Suddenly she heard the sound of a thump on the roof of the car. Knock, knock, knock. She started to panic, but was too scared to get out and figure out what was wrong. She kept trying to look out the windows, but it was too dark to see anything. Knock, knock, knock. The knocking seemed to get stronger and stronger. The girl was scared to death, but there was nothing she could do. Knock, knock, knock. She was forced to stay in the car all night, listening to the strange tapping sounds. Eventually, she managed to fall asleep. When she woke up and looked at the clock, it was 9 a.m., and when she tried to look out of the car window, everything was completely black. She couldn't understand what was going on. Suddenly she heard a car stop nearby and honk 3 times. Then she heard a scream. "It's the police." "Is there anyone in the car?" The girl breathed a sigh of relief. "Just me," she shouted. "My boyfriend left me here alone and didn't come back." "Good. Stay calm," said the policeman. "Listen to me very carefully. Open the door, get out of the car, and come to me. Whatever happens, don't look back." The girl obeyed the policeman's orders. Though her hands trembled and her thoughts were confused, she opened the car door and got out. "Now come to me," said the policeman. "And don't look back." The girl walked slowly toward the policeman, but suddenly stopped. "Don't look back," shouted the policeman. But it was too late. The girl couldn't hold back. She turned around and screamed in horror. The dead body of her boyfriend was swinging on a tree branch above the car. His head had been severed and blood was pouring from his neck, completely flooding the car windows.